king was deeply distressed, but because of his oath and the guest, he did not wish to break his word to her. Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, and it is first Friday. And I know you have been praying for me since I was in Australia for the past 2 weeks to give missions. Thank you for your prayers. And I also prayed for you during my mission. Being a prophet is a very dangerous business, as you know. Whether I like it or not, or whether you like it or not, we are all prophets. Since we are baptized into Christ, and we are baptized to be prophet, priest, and king. Now, it is okay. I don't think being a priest nowadays is a very dangerous business, unless you commit any crime. You captured. I have sponsored many priests wearing that orange collar dress. So many of them captured and imprisoned in Los Angeles. Unless priests commit crime, and you know what crimes we're talking about. But just being normal priest, no problem. And as a shepherd, well, we serve people, and we organize, we plan everything else. But being a prophet, it is a dangerous business. I know because I belong to this prophetic religious order, the Redemptorists. We're called to be like Elijah. We're called to be like John the Baptist. We're called to share in the Spirit of Jesus Christ, to say things people do not want to hear. It's dangerous. And do you remember the first homily Jesus delivered in his own hometown? At first people loved him, and they said, oh, he's so wonderful, and then at the end, they wanted to kill him. They wanted to execute him right on the spot. In fact, there was no court of law at all, no due process. They just brought him out to the hill, and they want to shove him, push him over the cliff. First homily, prophet for you. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me. He anoints me to come, to go and proclaim the good news, prophetic spirit. So what is this business about being a prophet? All of us are prophets. Well, you do not need to tell people what wrong they're doing. All you have to do is just lead a good life. Really, just lead a good moral life. And just being proud of being, having this opportunity to be a Christian, to be a Eucharistic Christian. Being proud and tell people, review yourself. And I do not do that. I don't do that. We don't do that as Catholics. We don't kill our children. We don't do that. And we don't sodomize. We don't do that. And if you say that, people will say you're not tolerant. And we're going to be in trouble. This is prophetic, right? This is a prophetic time. What's going on here? Every time we read the Bible, the Gospel, we know God reveals something to us. And so many things we can learn from it. But the whole thing about Revelation, what is a revelation? God is revealing himself, exposing his mercy, exposing his goodness. And we know when we talk about exposing, normally in our country, many of you may not know this, I live in the United States of America much longer than I live in Vietnam. I live here almost 30 years now. I live in Vietnam only 12 years. And this is my country. I know this culture. I grew up here. I was educated here. And this culture, our culture, whenever we say exposing something, we know we're exposing something wrong. Something wrong, really. That's what we do, especially the political seasons coming up, election season coming up. We will see a lot of exposition, don't we? Yeah. Something wrong with that person, a man. That's what we do. And the Lord exposing his own mercy, his own goodness. What do we expose? Revelation is supposed to be the revealing of God's mercy. And there's no other way to reveal this mercy or this goodness of God other than to expose the consequences of sin. What's the point of exposing God Himself on the Eucharist, on the cross first, and then on the altar of the Eucharist. Oh, there you see the death of a man, and we worship that man, the criminal. I mean, we worship the criminal. In the Muslim, I have many Muslim friends, and you remember when before they saw, I mean, literally saw off the head of the 21 martyrs, 21 Christians in Egypt. And they said, we want to destroy the religion that follows the cross. Remember? We just want to destroy anyone who follows the cross. Oh, what's the point of the cross? The cross is an instrument of torture. It is flying in the face of the Roman emperor and the Roman Empire, because they used that to intimidate, to threaten the whole world, because that is the most cruel instrument of execution. And now, you know, when Christ used it, now even your torture, you know, the cruelest instrument of torture, we have no fear. And we even use it as an instrument of salvation now. And we expose sin. The Lord, the God, Jesus Christ, He did that on the cross. It is not just about the torture, it's about His mercy. The more you torture Him, the more mercy He shows. Now that's the danger. Now the danger of being a prophet is this: you have to die. You have to die. We have to die. Really. When you want to say, you want to expose the goodness of God, at the same time, you know, the sins, the consequences of sins, like Jesus on the cross, we have to make it a, you know, we have to be willing to lay down our life, like Saint Agatha. The word Agatha means goodness. Lay down our life. What are we going to do? You know, today, Friday, First Friday, normally we take this day to reflect as a day of recollection, or day of reflection, or day of retreat. We think about our lives. What do we expose? You know, you read the Bible, the Gospel today. What did John the Baptist expose to Herod? Well, he exposed the wrong thing. But to do the right thing, you cannot do this. This is illegal. This is not lawful to live in this incestuous relationship. This is wrong. I'm not going to condemn you. I'm not condemning any, you know, but you know it is wrong. And your heart, in your conscience, you know it's wrong. But nobody tells you, but I'm going to tell you. You can kill me, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And then Herod loved to hear it. However, the thing about exposition, not about the sins, but the center, the heart of sins, you know the word S-I-N, and the center of the word S-I-N, there's the word I once again. We're exposing our own ego. Wherever we are, and whatever we do, we always try to reinforce our own ego. Really. This is what I'm doing also. Everything I do, everything we do, we reinforce our own ego. And you see that happens in the way Herod responded to his daughter, Salome. He was deeply distressed when Salome came back and asked for the head of John the Baptist. He was deeply distressed. Now, the conscience bothered him, but because of his oath at the guest, you know, sitting face and his oath. Now, he was reinforcing his ego when he said to the girl, you know, whatever you want, okay, even half of my country, my kingdom. That's reinforcing the ego. My power, I show you my power by giving you this and that. Reinforcing the ego. And then once again, even at the cost of the prophet's head, rather than breaking his word, evil promise, he chopped off the head of the truth. The prophet who spoke the truth to him. Now, this is one what we can bring home with us today, the rest of the week. What do we reinforce? What kind of food do we feed our own ego? Power, status, you know, all those things. Political election season coming up. You see that a lot of promises. What kind of food do we feed our own ego? The food that Jesus feed our own ego is the food of truth. Expose. You cannot heal a wound unless you expose it. In the sun, it's going to dry up, it's going to heal it. You sanitize it or purge it. expose it. And then this is what how we receive salvation. The Lord exposed it on the cross. He's going to expose it right now at the Eucharistic altar. He exposes His goodness. His goodness, His mercy to us. When we receive Him, take the courage, take Him as our courage to look into our heart and look at what kind of food we are been feeding our own ego, and look at Jesus. He just gave up everything for us to live. Let us take Him and receive Him really into our heart and soul, and ask Him for the courage to be prophets.